playing the second guess game. This is the popular board game that we had on last Christmas time, right before Christmas. And it was such a big success. We're going to play it again today because it's a great summer game to play as well with the family or take it on a trip with you. It's great just to take the cards out and play it in the car. And the second guess game essentially gives you the first answer, and you have to come up with the second answer. For example, Iowa is the state that produces the most corn. But what state is second? That's the kind of question that you get in the second guess game. It's created by Keith Meyers. And Keith, welcome back to WHO Radio.
Thank you, Stephen.
Can you explain the success we had with this last fall? We had you on a couple of times. The place just went crazy. Games by James sold out. They had to reorder, and everybody was talking about second guess. Why?
It strikes a chord with everybody. Everybody, I think, deep down realizes that we're a first-only society, that we really know everything that is first, but you stretch it just to second, and there's so much we don't know or find a little harder recalling.
Yeah, it's a clever idea because most trivia games ask you for the first answer, and you've stretched it to make it the second answer. And it shouldn't surprise you that our phone lines are already lit up. People want to play second guess because we have 12 second guess board games to give away today. That's right, 12 of our listeners are going to win today. And we're going to make you answer a couple of questions correctly. Keith, why don't you explain, first of all, how do you play the board game?
Okay. You're given a card. Somebody's reading it to you. They read off 3 titles, which are a little humorous in how they're written. They don't quite tell you what the topic is. But from that, you get to choose your topic. You're read the question. If you can answer it immediately, you score 2 points. If not, you can get multiple choice. And if you get that right, you get 1 point. However, by choosing to go with the multiple choice, you allow all the other players in the game to second guess what you're going to guess for a point.
That's fun. It's really fun to play it, too, because you are second-guessing each other in addition to second-guessing the question.
Right.
So the way we're going to play it today, because we have so many games to give away, we're going to make you just answer 2 questions correctly. That's it. And Barbara is up first on WHO. Hi, Barbara.
Hi there.
Maybe Keith should ask me a question first so you can kind of hear what the game is like. Okay, Barbara?
Okay.
All right, Keith, why don't you ask me one, and then we'll kind of show her what it's like.
Okay. Alaska is the biggest state. Thus, it has the largest coastline, some 6,640 miles. Which state has the next largest coastline?
Okay, so Alaska has the longest or the most coastline. What's second? I will guess California.
840 miles, but that is actually third.
Okay, so now you're going to give me multiple choice.
Right. The other choices will be Florida, Hawaii, and Louisiana.
Florida.
Yes.
Good. So I got a point for that. See how that works, Barbara?
Yeah, I got that right.
You got it right. Well, then let's see if you get this one right. Okay. Barbara, here's your first question. You have to get 2 right to get the game.
Okay. Saturday turns out to be the biggest day for shoppers. By far the most favorite day. What day of the week is second?
Thursday.
Thursday? Nope, that is actually third. The other choices are Friday, Sunday, and Monday.
Friday.
Friday is.
Okay, so Barbie, get 1 and 1 more, and you get the game.
Good.
Okay. McDonald's is the undisputed fast food champ. More than $16 billion in the U.S. alone. What fast food chain is second in fast food revenues?
Burger King?
Yes.
You got it. You didn't even need the clues. Boy, you're sharp, Barbara. Good job. Congratulations. You get a copy of the Second Guess board game created by Keith Meyers, courtesy of News Radio 1040 WHO. Keith, you said that you had played the game this summer with some family members and friends. What was that like?
It was very good. We were actually all out around the pool, and I was just reading questions from the box. People, whether they were in the pool or not, were shouting out answers when it was their turn, and went over quite well. We had probably 8 people all playing.
Right. It's not really a board game in terms of there's not a board to move pieces around. You could simply play with the cards. It's that easy to play. There are a couple of other little things that come in the box, but it's easy to take along in the car or take on vacation. I told you before, we drove to Minneapolis, and we spent, I think, 3 of the 4 hours on the road just playing with the second guess cards. It was so much fun. And to get teenagers interested, that's kind of tough these days. Let's give Joanne a chance to win on WHO Radio. Hi, Joanne.
Hi.
And let's give her a question, Keith.
Okay. China has 1.2 billion people within its borders, almost 20% of the entire world population. Which country is next largest in population?
Brazil.
Nope. Let me give you the multiple choice. You have the United States, the USSR, India, and Japan.
India.
Yes.
Okay, Joanne, you got one more, and you win the game.
All right.
When Christmas rolls around, more than 2.5 billion greeting cards go through the post office. Which holiday ranks next in greeting card mailings?
Mother's Day?
Mother's Day is fourth.
Fourth?
Yeah. You have choice of Easter, Valentine's Day, or Father's Day.
What was the first one?
Easter,
Oh.
Valentine's Day, or Father's Day?
Got to be Valentine's Day, doesn't it?
That is true.
Okay, see, you did it, Joanne.
We're all on a roll here.
Congratulations. Yeah, we've given 2 games away already. That's pretty good for us. It's Winzenburg on the weekend on News Radio 1040 WHO. We're having fun playing the second guess game. Earlier, I said that Iowa is the top corn-producing state. Which one is second? Well, second is Illinois. And that's how you play the game. Ann is with us now on WHO. Hi, Ann.
Good morning.
Let's get you a question. Keith?
Okay.
Number one pet trick for dogs is sitting. Which canine trick is the second most common?
Oh, dear. Let's see. How about rolling over?
No.
I'll say fetching.
Fetching? No. It is shaking.
Shaking the paw.
Oh,
is in there,
taking the
too.
paw.
We gave it a try, Ann.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for listening to News Radio 1040 WHO. Joyce, you get a chance. Hi, Joyce.
Okay.
You didn't know that one either, I suppose, right?
Well, I did. I think you had it earlier.
Yes, I did.
I knew that
asked,
other one, too. And I
about,
suppose now you'll give me one I don't know.
about 45 minutes ago, we asked Steve Locker that question. So.
I know. I was checking the paw.
Americans love Asian automobiles. Toyota is the number one Asian auto manufacturer in the U.S. Which Asian auto manufacturer is second?
Honda?
Yes.
Good. Okay, Joyce, one more and you get the game.
Kellogg's Frosted Flakes are the largest breakfast cereal in the U.S. What breakfast cereal is second?
Raisin Bran.
Raisin Bran is actually on here, but not the right choice. Let me give you the others. Cheerios, Fruit Loops, and Rice Krispies.
Cheerios.
Cheerios is...
Is it second?
It is second.
Oh, she got it. Good job,
Good
Joyce. You won a game just for knowing Cheerios. Good
Well,
job.
good.
Thanks for listening to WHO Radio. We're giving Joyce a copy of the second guess game. And Keith, your interest in games really started as a kid, didn't it?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Not quite sure who initiated it, but we'd have all the family holiday gatherings at our house. And I got put in charge of watching all the kids. And I started by pulling out some board games, and it was a great way to keep them all entertained for hours. And just turned out that every birthday and Christmas, all my aunts and uncles would send me games. So I had a huge game closet. And if a game wasn't quite good enough, I, without really thinking about it, just revised the rules so it played better.
Oh, my gosh. What do you mean you just revised the rules? Doesn't that make the family mad?
Doesn't. Well, it might make the game manufacturer mad, but it worked good for the family.
Well, I'll tell you what, whenever I play Monopoly, I want to change a few rules to work things in my favor, but the family seems to get upset about that. But I'm like you. I love to just fiddle a little bit with games, because I think maybe I can improve them. But that's the line of work you're in. Isn't that amazing? That,
it is.
That as a kid you used to just, rework some of the rules, and now that's what you do for a living.
Yeah, not anything you could have planned, and as far as I know, there's no courses you can take in
That's
college
right.
to do this.
Keith Meyers, creator of Second Guess. We're giving away some of the games today, and Ann gets a chance. Hi, Ann.
Hello.
How are you today?
Real good.
Okay, Keith, let's get Ann a question.
Okay, we'll give you a nursery rhyme. Monday's child is fair of face. That's the beginning of a popular nursery rhyme. The second line is Tuesday's child is... Do you know the follow-up?
Oh, my gosh. Say it again.
You have Monday's child is fair of face. Tuesday's child is...
Full of grace.
Full of grace. That's correct.
Good. Yeah, one more, Ann, you get it right. You get the game.
Alrighty.
If you name your baby James, there's a good chance he'll become president. That happens to be the most popular first name for president. 6 of them. What first name is the second most common presidential first
President's name. So James is the most often used presidential name. What's second?
John.
name? That is correct.
Wow.
There are 5 Johns.
You're good. Is somebody helping you?
No.
Well, you're
I'm
sharp.
actually in a soccer tournament, though I'm out here in the middle of nowhere.
Oh,
on
you're
the
out at
phone.
a soccer tournament. Paying a lot of attention to your kid there, I see.
It's someone else's kid, so I don't really.
Okay. Nice way to win a game, though.
Great.
Thanks, Ann. You got a copy of the Second Guess game created by Keith Meyers. And let's go to Lori. Hi, Lori.
Yes.
You there?
Yes, I am.
You're not at a soccer tournament, are you?
I'm not at a soccer tournament. I'm driving in my car to work.
All right. Let's see if you can get a game, too.
Okay.
Okay, America's favorite candy is M&M. 50% higher than their next closest competitor, which would be favorite
Snickers.
candy.
She guessed Snickers.
Snickers, right off the bat, she's correct.
Wow.
All right.
One more and you get the game.
Great.
Elvis Presley gets the most press, even a decade after his death. Which pop icon, which is dead, gets the second most mention in articles over the last decade? So we're thinking of popular, deceased.
John Lennon.
John Lennon is actually third. Let me give you the other choices.
Okay.
Marilyn Monroe, John Wayne, or Charlie Chaplin.
Marilyn Monroe.
That's what I'd
Correct.
guess. Oh, you got it, Lori.
I got it?
You got it.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
Boy, these folks that are being distracted on cell phones, they seem to be doing the best here.
They do. Maybe it's just all in the back of our mind. All
Keith,
these
maybe you
answers.
need to have the new cell phone edition of the Second Guess game so people can just play it in their car when they're talking on their phone or something or out at the soccer game.
That would be great.
Keith Meyers is here. He's the creator of Second Guess, and one of the questions has to do with golfing. 12% of the population in America plays golf. North Dakota has the highest percentage at 20%.
Wow.
Which state is second? Second is actually Wisconsin. I would have never guessed Wisconsin was
That
second.
wouldn't have been my choice.
Iowa's actually fifth, so we're right up there. But Wisconsin is second, and Minnesota is third. So the northern states play the most golf. Isn't that something?
That is amazing.
Keith, do you learn things from playing your game?
Oh, absolutely.
So you forget the questions after a while?
Yes.
So when you play along with the family, you get to play just like everybody else.
Yep. That's the last time we played. Actually, second to last time that we played it normal with me, not just reading the questions, but actually participating in the game and
you
came
did-
very close to losing.
You came close to losing your own game?
Yes. At the very end, I got some double or nothing questions and was able to catch up.
You know, it's kind of like authors. Sometimes I'll interview authors, and I read books cover to cover, when I interview people, and I'll mention something in the book, and they will have no idea what I'm talking about because they wrote the book 3 years ago, and they don't remember it. I said, you need to go back and reread your book. So, a little like you wrote these questions a few years ago, right?
Yes.
And so now you just kind of forget them. Let's get back to our WHO radio phone lines. And Sarah, let's give you a chance. Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Okay, Sarah. The book of Genesis is the first book in the Bible's Old Testament. Which Old Testament book follows next?
Oh, I don't really know.
Let me give you the multiple choice. Deuteronomy, Exodus, Leviticus, or Numbers?
I will say Exodus.
Good choice.
Very good. You
That
got
is
one
second.
right. One more, you get the game, Sarah.
Okay. The Wall Street Journal subscription is approaching 2 million. Which daily newspaper has the next largest circulation? This is a daily newspaper.
The New York Times.
New York Times is close. It's third. But other choices are LA Times, USA Today, or Washington Post.
USA Today.
That's right.
You got it.
Good work.
job. Somebody helping you there, too? That's okay.
Yep, my dad.
Well, he's smart. You make sure to tell him he can play the game with you, okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Sarah, for listening to WHO Radio. You get a copy of the Second Guess game, and let's give Russ a chance. Hi, Russ.
Good morning, Steve.
Do you know these answers so far?
Doing okay so far.
Okay, let's hope you get these right, too.
Okay.
Bet.
William Shakespeare is the most published writer of all time. What famous author is second?
Wow. You can just make a guess, Russ.
Yeah, I have no idea. Jack London.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
we'll
Let me
get
give you the
multiple
multiple
choice.
choice. Aristotle, Johann Wolfgang Goethe, Mark Twain, or Charles Dickens?
Charles Dickens.
Yes.
Good guess.
Good one.
Okay, one more and you get the game.
Flight delays and cancellation. About 7,000 yearly complaints. What airline complaint is second?
Okay, so delays and cancellations is the number one complaint. What's the second complaint? Second most often.
The check-in lines.
Long lines. Okay.
That would be with the ticketing, and that is actually third.
Okay. So
You
now,
choose between baggage problems, customer service, or refunds?
Baggage problems.
That is it.
You got it, Russ.
Good job.
Great.
We stumbled our way into that one, didn't we? But it sure worked out great. So Russ is going to get a copy of the second guess game. It's fun to play. Let's get one more caller. And Mary's up next on WHO. Hi, Mary.
Good morning.
Let's give Mary a chance to win.
Okay. In the U.S., Maine is the farthest east. Which state is second, extending furthest east?
Vermont.
Vermont? No. Let me give you the multiple choice. Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, or Rhode Island?
This is a hard one.
They're all kind of grouped together up there.
Massachusetts.
That's the right answer.
Good job. Did you get your map out there? Do you have your atlas out, Mary?
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't.
All right, one more quick question for Mary, and then if she gets that right, she gets the game.
Okay. H.G. Wells is ranked as the greatest sci-fi author of all time by Publishers Weekly. And which sci-fi author ranks second?
Okay, do you have a guess, Mary, or you want to take the multiple choice?
Oh, I can't even think.
Okay, let's just give her the multiple choice then.
Okay. Philip K. Dick, Jules Verne, Ray Bradbury, or Isaac Asimov?
Bradbury.
Bradbury, no, I'm sorry.
Mm.
Jules Verne is ranked second.
Jules Verne
that
was
my
second.
next guess.
Yep, thanks for trying, Mary.
Thank you.
Keith Meyers is the creator of Second Guess. So what was the inspiration? Where did you come up with the idea?
It actually happened around this time. I was listening to the radio one morning. It was around 4th of July, and they were talking about the heritage of our country, and they were talking about George Washington. And I came to realize that I didn't know who the second president of the U.S. was. I thought that was a little shocking to me. And immediately went home to my almanac and looked it up so I'd know. And thought, there's probably something in here for that. Browsed through the almanac a little bit more and saw a lot of good questions that I could come up with, and then started to work on it.
Was this the first game you'd done?
I had done some much less ephemeral games, nothing too brainy earlier. But
Now, what do you mean by that?
I've done a game that's composed of tongue twisters and one that is a card passing game.
So not real trivia games, just
Yeah.
more fun to play type games.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But now I'm an independent game designer and loving it.
This is what you do full time now.
Yes.
You design games.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of scary to be off on your own?
At first, I thought it would be, but I'm having such good success that I really feel pretty comfortable with it now.
We're giving away games. We've got 5 more games to give away, so we're going to try to get through these as fast as we can before the top of the hour. And Janice is up next. Hi, Janice.
Hi.
Let's give you a question, see if we can give you a game.
Okay.
Jana, Ruth and Elliot Handler founded the Mattel Toy Company in '45 and named the Barbie doll after their firstborn, Barbara. Which product featured the name of their secondborn?
The Ken doll.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, good. Janice, one more and you get the game.
Okay. The term June bride became popular because that is the month when most weddings take place. What month is the second most popular month for marriage?
Ooh. July.
Not July. Let me give you the multiple choice. February, May, August, and October.
February.
February. No, that's actually August is the second most popular.
Well, thanks for trying. Next. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Plain and simple is how Americans tend to like it, at least with ice cream. 25% of all ice cream sold in America is vanilla. Which flavor is second?
Chocolate.
That is correct.
Yeah, that's what I think. Sure.
The Nile River stretches some 4,145 miles. Do you know what the second longest river in the world is?
The Amazon.
That is correct.
You've been playing too many trivia games, Sarah. I can tell you that already.
Yeah, she was fast on that.
You're very good, so you're going to get a copy of this game, okay, Sarah?
Great, thank you.
Thanks for listening to WHO Radio. Our guest is Keith Meyers. And Keith, there's so much popularity of TV game shows. It's amazing. Since for years we had nothing, and now we've got Millionaire and lots of other game shows. Have the popularity of those shows increased interest in games like yours, or would you say it's decreased because now people are getting their trivia needs met through television?
I think electronic media has influenced games phenomenally, and not just games like Millionaire. Simpsons has become one of the largest licenses in games. There's a Simpsons Clue. They just license it for every possible use. So media is very pervasive in the game industry.
So you think
go to New York-
the idea that there's popular TV shows now that have trivia questions, that helps sales of games like yours?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Catherine's up next on WHO Radio. Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Let's give you a game here. We just have to answer 2 questions correctly.
Okay.
Okay, the most common food allergen is nuts. What is the number 2 food allergy?
Would it be milk?
Milk is third. Let me give you the other choices. Eggs, shellfish, and seafood, or wheat. You have a choice of
Eggs, shellfish, or wheat?
Yep.
Wheat.
That's a hard one.
Wheat.
It's actually fourth. Seafood is second.
Seafood second.
Seafood.
Oh, we tried,
Shellfish.
Catherine.
Okay, thank
Thanks
you.
for listening to WHO Radio. And we've got Nicole on the line with us. Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
How old are you?
12.
Well, Nicole, I hope you win a game because you'd love to play this. It's a lot of fun, okay?
Okay.
All right, Keith, let's give a question for 12-year-old Nicole.
Okay. Jesus Christ is referred to most in the Bible, some 1,500 times in the King James Version. Excluding God, which name is next most often mentioned?
So whose name is second most often mentioned in the Bible?
Can I have the multiple choice?
Sure.
Sure can. Moses, Mary, Joseph, or David?
David.
That's good.
You got it? Oh, you beat me. I guessed Moses. Good job, Nicole. So one more and you get the game.
Okay. Let's see.
Don't make it too hard, Keith.
Yeah, I was looking. The one I just picked up was, I think, not appropriate. Postal abbreviations are composed of 2 letters to represent each state. Which state's abbreviation is made up of 2 vowels?
Is there only one choice here, or what?
There is only one choice.
Oh,
Iowa.
That's it.
you did it, Nicole. Somebody yelling to make sure you get the answer right, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, good job, Nicole. You want a copy of the second guess game, all right?
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to News Radio 1040 WHO. When we come back, we're going to ask Keith about the new games he's designing, and we're going to head back out to visit with Van and Bonnie.
Boy, that's a fascinating trivia question. I never thought about that. And here
I didn't
the
think
answer
of
is
that either,
Iowa.
right.
Wow, that's interesting.
Keith Meyers, who's the creator of Second Guess, has also designed the Hobbit board game.
Yes, it was just fortunate. Happened to be in the right place in the right time when the owner of all the Tolkien licenses for board games was shopping around for a game designer. And a friend and I put some work together and sent it off to him, and he loved it. And it's aimed at a little younger audience,
So you like
eight and up.
So you design like a mock-up of the game and then you send it off just hoping that they'll like it?
Yeah, shopping around, and I don't know how many people submitted. But
That's amazing. And I know you go to
wow.
Toy Fair. Like this next year, you'll have another new game at Toy Fair. Tell us what that's like.
Toy Fair is through the roof. It's like the Vegas for the game industry. Everybody goes to show their new products, and there's people dressed up in costumes.
Wonderful. Let's give away a few more games, and Heather, we're going to give you a chance. Hi, Heather.
Hi.
Let's get a couple quick questions in here, Keith.
Okay.
Okay. American cheese ranks as number 1 with Americans. Which cheese is consumed second most in the U.S.?
Okay, so what type of cheese is number 2?
Cheddar.
That is correct.
Good job, Heather. One more and you get it.
Okay. The Visa is the number 1 used type of credit card around the world. Which credit card is next most popular?
I bet you don't have a credit card, do you, Heather?
No, but I'm thinking.
You sound a little young.
MasterCard.
That is correct.
You didn't even need the clues, Heather.
Oh,
You're good.
Brilliant.
thanks.
You won the game. Congratulations, Heather. We're going to give you second guess. And let's give Mary a chance. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
You still there? Let's see if we can answer these questions quickly.
Okay.
Hawaii is the southernmost U.S. state. What state is the next furthest south?
Would that be Florida?
That would be Florida.
Okay, good. One more and you'll get the game.
I can't believe I got that.
You're smarter than you think, right?
Sometimes.
Smallest planet is Pluto. What is the second next most smallest?
Can I have
Multiple
choice?
Sure can. Venus, Mars, Neptune, or Mercury?
Mercury.
That is correct.
Good job.
Oh, my
See,
God.
you're pretty sharp. Congratulations, Mary. You did it. So we gave away just about all of our games today. Keith, it sure is a lot of fun to have you back on,
Thank
and
you
what
for
a
having
great
me.
success you've had with the second guest game. And Des Moines has been a really big market for you, hasn't it?
It has been a huge market, and I have to say thanks almost entirely to you.
Oh, well, we appreciate you just giving us a chance to give away these great games. It's second guest. Thanks a lot to Keith Meyers.